Hey everybody, this is your boy John Patrick Adams, and thank you for checking out this video. I'm really excited about today's topic, but before we get to it, if you have not subscribed to my mailing list, stop right now and go and visit my site, johnpatrickadams.com, and subscribe to my mailing list. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button right beneath this video, and also click on like and share it on all of your social media outlets and with your friends and family. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this video. Today's topic is based off of two questions I've recently been asked. So we're just going to call this the dating conversation. That's what we're going to call this video, because that's pretty much what it's dealing with. First thing is, I was asked, what is the difference between the dating conversation of a man and of a woman? And we're talking about when men go out to dinner or for drinks with their friends, or women go out to dinner with their friends. And from my experience, this is not all men. This is just maybe my group of buddies or my group of female friends. When I've gone out to dinner with them, or I've heard about conversations they had, normally with men talk about their ex. The men that I've dealt with, they talk about their ex. And what I mean by that is they talk about the qualities that may have driven them away from the last person they dated. So normally men, they talk about the qualities, just like women talk about the qualities, the traits, the characteristics. And through all of this, if they're kind of indirectly saying what they want in the next relationship, they're just not saying it. So if a man, the men normally talk about how women are controlling, they nag, never satisfied, and so forth. And indirectly, they're pretty much saying that going forward, this is not something they want. Whereas with women, women talk about the person they want to be their next. They talk about the qualities they want to have in a man, the characteristics, and so forth. They talk about all of these things. And I believe, this is just me, the difference, the real true difference between the two conversations is, whereas men will talk about that and they'll move on. They'll move on, they'll continue, they'll start talking about sports, they'll continue to have a great night, and do not allow that to become the thing that rules their night. Whereas with women, some women, let me make sure I say some women, they go out and they have this conversation about men, and by the end of the night, that's all they talked about. Being in a relationship or not being in a relationship, and the struggles of not being in a relationship, and how they want to be in a relationship, and how God hasn't blessed them with a relationship. And by the end of the night, they haven't done anything. They haven't had any type of conversation that have enhanced their life. So that is my tip on that, or my thoughts on that. Men talk about their ex, women talk about the one they want to be their next. Second question I was asked is, how do you casually date? And I talked about this in my book, How to Win the Dating Game. But casually dating, I think that there are two things two things you shouldn't do. First thing is, you shouldn't do anything you're going to have any regrets the next day or going forward. And that's not just sex. So let me just put that out there. But definitely do not have sex if you're going to regret it. Well, don't have sex, period. But if you're going to regret it, do not have sex. That's the first thing you don't do. Second thing is, a lot of we're still on the regrets, but if you're going to regret spending money later, and what I mean by that is buying dinner, buying gifts, or whatever the case may be, go Dutch. Don't go out. Do not buy gifts. Do not buy dinner. If you're casually dating, and you know you're casually dating multiple people, because that's where the question came from, casually dating several people, not just one person. If you're going to casually date people and you're not going to commit to anyone, again, do not do anything that you're going to regret later on. Second thing is, if you're going to casually date, have no expectations of anyone. Don't expect, and women especially, if you're going to casually date, don't expect every guy to pay for your meal. Maybe the first one, that's cool. But if you're going to continuously casually date these same people over and over again, at some point, if you're not willing to move forward and commit to somebody, eventually they're going to stop paying. And that shouldn't be something that turns you off from them, because you've gone into the situation pretty much saying that you are just going to be their friends, and friends are not obligated to pay for you. If you, same thing for men. Men, if you're going to pay for a woman, and you're casually dating her, don't expect her to give it up. You shouldn't go into situations if you're casually dating having no other expectation than to go out and have a great time. And whether you are casually dating or exclusively dating, I've said this 1,000 times, you have to have the conversation. And I've said when you're going from casually dating to exclusively dating, it is very important to have that conversation that so that both of you are on the same page and each of you know what's going on in each other's head. But it's definitely even that same conversation need to happen when you're casually dating. Because we live in a time now where people snap, they go off, you don't know who you're dating until you really get to know a person. So if you want to casually date someone, or you want to, if you're at this point in your life where you don't want to be in a serious relationship, have that conversation and allow that other person the opportunity to decide whether or not you are someone they want to deal with. And I think that shows maturity, that shows where you are in your life, and then it shows that you have respect for the other person. So in this scenario, if you want to casually if you want to casually date, don't do anything you're going to regret, and do not date with any expectations of the other person other than to just go out with them and have a great time. So again, this is John Patrick Adams, and make sure you sign up for my mailing list. And while you're out there on the site, make sure you get copies of my 2 books, Naked and How to Win the Dating Game. And then there are 4 other amazing books out there on the site as well. So make sure you pick those up. Thank you again for checking out this video, and make sure you check out the blogs this week. All right then, peace.